Welcome to the industry's leading business podcast for fitness owners and managers. We'd like to thank this month's premier podcast partner, Gym Sales. Gym Sales gives your sales team the tools they need to capture, nurture, and convert new members. Visit gymsales.net to find out more. And we are back for another show. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. This week, my special guest is Andrea Vahl. Andrea is a social media consultant and speaker and is the co-author of Facebook Marketing All-in-One for Dummies, and her new book is called Facebook Ads Made Simple. She was the community manager for Social Media Examiner for over 2 years and has appeared in lists on entrepreneur.com and inc.com. Now, this week's episode is a little bit different to most. I had just 30 minutes with Andrea and I wanted to make sure that I made the most of every single minute. So we've split this week's show into two sections. Section 1, we chat about Facebook ad changes. And in section 2, we talk about top Facebook ad tactics for gym owners and personal trainers. And here's a quick tip. Right at the end of today's interview, Andrea shares 3 of her favorite digital business tools. So make sure you listen out for today's Fitbispiration. Team, this is a short, sharp episode. And to help you implement Andrea's advice, I've also included a few links to her blog posts in today's show notes. Let's get straight into it. Enjoy this week's show with my special guest, Andrea Vahl. Andrea, a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to be here.
We are very blessed to have you on, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to talk about these two topics today. And we're going to kick things off today talking about Facebook ad changes. So let's dive straight in. What do we need to know?
Yeah, the biggest change is in image and video sizes for ads. So previously, the ad image size has been kind of more oblong, which is 1200 by 628 pixels. And now Facebook has relaxed that image size restriction, and you can have a range of sizes. You can even have images that are more vertical, that are really good for mobile, and then also just square images. Square images are, I think, one of the easiest places to start because they will work well on Instagram and Facebook. So why not just keep your work simple and create just one image rather than lots of different images for the different placements?
That makes heaps of sense. So I assume this has come about because obviously of the relationship between Facebook and Instagram, and they're just trying to make it easier to share across both those platforms. Is that right?
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's really driving this is the fact that more people are accessing Facebook on their mobile devices, and the images just look better when they are a little bit more vertical or square. So Facebook is just kind of making that adjustment so that you've got that real estate, and you want to definitely make sure that you're looking like you're up with the latest changes when you create your ads so that they stand out in the news feed and things.
Is this already rolled out? Are we seeing people starting to use these variations in video format?
Yeah, it has rolled out already. So I think, it's always hard to say. I don't know exactly. There is sometimes people who are getting things at different times. But I think this rollout is pretty universal from what I can see.
Okay, excellent. So video size changes is number 1. What else have we got to know when it comes to Facebook ad changes?
One of the other big changes that affects more people is the fact that Facebook is really pushing people to move to Business Manager. And that is really scary for a lot of people. People think that for a long time, Business Manager didn't work well. It was sort of clunky and not user-friendly at all. And so I used to recommend that people stay away from Business Manager if they could at all do that. But now they've made it a little bit easier. They have improved the navigation a little bit, in my opinion, and really it's nothing to fear. What they're doing with it more recently is if you are using something like an email list to advertise have your ads go to people who are on your email list, that's what's called a custom audience. And if you wanted to use that, Business Manager is required. So you would have to move everything into Business Manager. Now, the way I kind of describe it so that people don't get quite so nervous about it is that the navigation is inherently the same once you get on your page. It's not like your page completely changes or anything like that. You're still going to find the same things in the same areas. Business Manager is really just an umbrella to house your pages and your ad account. So it's really just a way you get to your ad account and to your page that's a little bit different. And then there's some kind of just settings section area that's a little bit different as well. So it's nothing to fear. It's a change that's going to become more necessary. I think eventually every page owner is going to have to move into Business Manager in the future.
Okay, so let us just get our head around this, because I think when you said that pages and our ad account is kind of the umbrella over that is the Business Manager, for me that was the best way to understand all of that. So basically what we're talking about is for all of our listeners out there that have a business page for their gym or for their personal training business, basically they will find now that Facebook is encouraging them to do all of that activity, their emails, their ads, everything that is associated with that business page. Facebook now is going to push them or encourage them to house all of their activity under the Business Manager section.
Right. And all you have to do is just set up the Business Manager, and then you just pull your ad account and pull your pages into that Business Manager. That's kind of how it works.
Okay, I'm jumping in here, team. Andrea has very kindly given us a link to a blog post that she has written that will walk you through exactly how to pull your ad account into your Facebook Business Manager. Go to fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, click on the link for today's episode, and you're going to see the blog post in the resources section of the show notes. Now back to the show. So we've got our those first two things, video size changes and moving more people to Business Manager. Anything else we need to know currently when it comes to Facebook ads?
Yeah, so I think one of the things to just keep in mind is a lot of people are doing things like boosting posts, and you definitely want to use Facebook ads in the Ads Manager to do a little bit better job of optimizing that ad and targeting that ad. And one of the challenges too is that Facebook is constantly moving the needle and changing what they're allowing to be advertised. And I know probably for your community, fitness and dieting and all of that, anytime you talk about getting fit or, losing weight, Facebook is always kind of moving the needle on how you can kind of talk about that. So that's a challenging piece as well. So just staying on top of the terms and what you can and can't say is a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you recommend we can best stay up to date with those changes as they roll out?
Yeah, so there's a section I would definitely just bookmark on Facebook terms, and that helps you and kind of make sure that you're within those terms. And it also gives you examples of what you can and can't say related to like personal attributes, or especially they kind of have some guidelines around fitness as well, or like you can't even like have a little tape measure around a stomach or anything like that they don't like. So it shows examples of that. So we'll have a link for that as well, so that you can watch.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Andrea, because I know from my personal experience when I was doing some gym marketing a little while back, it can be quite frustrating if you don't know the current terms and you're kind of submitting an ad and then it gets rejected and it's then time consuming. So I love your recommendation on just bookmarking that Facebook terms section of the website. So that's excellent. Before we transition into part 2 of my interview with Andrea, I first want to thank our podcast partner, Gym Sales. Gym Sales allows you to plan, implement, and monitor a proactive sales strategy that is automated and uniform. Give your sales team the tools they need to capture, nurture, and convert new members, making it easier than ever before to grow your member base. Visit gymsales.net to find out more. I've got to tell you, I am super excited to dive into this one because we're going to be talking about top Facebook ad tactics for gym owners and personal trainers. Okay, Andrea, over to you. Where do we get started?
Yeah, so the big thing I would suggest here is really having some way for people to get a little sample from you, and it can be a few different things. I would say either maybe it's like a sample meal plan or a sample workout that you can give away for free, or just even like a quick video challenge series where you can get people a little more familiar with you and give them something for free in exchange for their email address. And then you're going to use your email list to follow up with them and continue to connect with them. So I think that gym owners are, and I know store owners in general are more concerned about getting people right in the door. Let's get them in and getting them to buy right away. But sometimes you have to warm up your audience with different types of content. So that can include this little freebie or a little sample, like I mentioned, or maybe it's just even a series of videos that you're doing that are giving people online tips about, techniques or things that can help them work out with you. And once people get to know you, they're going to be a little bit more inclined to come in to your gym or come work with you. So just by, building your list initially or warming up your audience with some content and then using Facebook ads to kind of push that content either into your local area, or if you are more of an online type of trainer or, do online products, for example, you can even expand that to a larger audience. So think about ways to warm up your audience and use Facebook ads to push that content in front of your perfect potential customer.
Andrea, are there any examples that you could share with us that you've either seen, let's say ideally of a fitness-based business or of any particular service-based business that have used this methodology? Is there any specific examples you could share with us so that we can understand it thoroughly?
Yeah, so a couple of great examples around this are, one is a woman who does more fitness related types of things and does videos and also does share kind of recipes. And her name is Coach JVB, Jenny Van Barnes, I think. I always just think of her as Coach JVB. And she's not currently running any ads, but I want to just kind of share with you like how you can look at a Facebook page, any Facebook page, and see if they are running ads. So if you go to someone's Facebook page, you can go on the left side of the page, and there's a section now called Info and Ads, and that will show any current ads that are running, and you can see what they look like. Now, one thing you won't be able to tell is if those ads are working for them. You're not going to be able to see how many comments there are. It's just kind of a more general transparent thing that Facebook has put into place in the last year because of all the kind of scandal they had around the ads issues that they had for our election here in the US. Mm-hmm. And now they're having that a little more transparent on what ads each page is running. So Coach JVB she does like a lot of videos, and that's a great thing to do. Another client that I've worked with is Cynthia Stodd, and she's Eat Empowered, and she shares meal planning tips and recipes and things and other videos that she does about eating and around the way you approach food. So having this content that is being shared with your audience, and then also using that content to do things like get email subscribers and video views and things like that can help warm up your audience to have them want to work with you.
That's a great tip, Andrea, and thank you for sharing those examples, because I always feel as though as fitness professionals and gym owners, so often we have all of this amazing content that we've created, videos, as you gave the example, or we've written blog posts, or we've written ebooks, but we don't necessarily use those things to our total advantage. And I love this, because you might have a library of content and you're thinking, okay, I've got all this really great stuff, but what do I do with it now? So there is nothing stopping you from using that content in the way that Andrea has just recommended, and incorporating it into your ad into your Facebook advertising as a sample or as a taster to build your email list. So that's a great recommendation. Any others for us when it comes to ad tactics for gym owners and PTs?
Yeah, so the other thing you want to think about is not only the targeting that you're using for your ads. So say you're targeting your local area, but also think about where you're placing your ads. So one of the things I teach a lot is making sure that you edit your placements for your ads. Facebook kind of hides this on your ads manager area when you're creating an ad. It recommends that you use all the placements. Well, that means your ad is actually also going out to Instagram and also going out to something called the Audience Network and going into Messenger and other locations that your ad image may not be optimized for. Now, if you're using a square image, then that is optimized for Instagram, obviously. But you may want to have Instagram placement broken out by itself, because maybe you have a really great connection with people on Instagram already. You know that's where your audience hangs out. And by doing just a quick 60-second video, you're getting to connect with them and pushing that video into their feed a little bit more than just it would get organically.
Wow, this is a super important one, and I'm going to get you to just say it one more time. So where do we find that section that we can choose for the ads? Where is that in our, hang on, let me go back. Is this in our business manager under the...
Right. So it's under when you're in your business manager and you're creating an ad in your ads manager, because your ads manager lives underneath your business manager. You're going into the ads manager to create an ad, and you're selecting, for example, maybe you're selecting you want traffic to your website to get them to know about some special thing that you've got there. And you are choosing your targeting at the ad set level, but that's where the placements also live, at that ad set level. And even if you're boosting a post, sometimes it will kind of default to boosting it on Instagram, and you want to make sure you know where your ad is going. So always just check out that placements. But if you are creating an ad from scratch in Ads Manager, it's at the ad set level, and it's got placements on the left sidebar. You can edit those.
That is excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, Andrea, we're just about there for today. Is there anything else that you want to share with us when it comes to ad tactics?
So I think one of the big things about ad tactics that especially gym owners can take advantage of is video ads, because you're going to be kind of developing a relationship with people. They want to get to know you through video, and you've got great things that you can demonstrate in video as well. But one of the things that you can really do well with video is retarget the people who have watched your videos before. So now you know they're really interested in you because they've seen your previous videos either just organically or in an ad. So you can create what's called a custom audience to show your ads just to the people who have watched your videos previously. And now that means that you're showing your new ads to people who already like you, who already have seen you, and you don't have to spend that much money to reach those people, because it might be just like a few thousand people, for example. So now you could spend like $5 and get in front of those really loyal fans of yours and really connect with them deeper and just spend a very small amount of money.
Good news, Andrea has also given us a blog post to dive a little bit deeper into ad placements. You can find that link in today's show notes. I'm going to throw you one last question, and I didn't brief you on this, but I know that you know the answer. So we finish off each of our shows with Fit Inspiration, and you wrote a fantastic blog post recently, which I absolutely loved, which was called "My Favorite Business Tools That Take Me from Soup to Nuts." And by the way, I'm so glad you explained what that meant, because I've read that. I do not know what that saying means. So anyone that does not know what that means, I'm going to put a link to the blog post in today's show notes. But what I would love to hear from you to finish off today, Andrea, is can you share with us just three of your favorite business tools that you mentioned in that article?
Yeah. So one of my favorite tools for video is Animoto. It allows you to create really easy, quick, professional looking videos. You can create them in the square format, and they've got templates already available. They've got music you can choose from. So that's really helpful. Another one of my favorite video tools that's a little more involved is Camtasia. And that one is a little bit more editing, and you can do a little bit more with that. I use it often because I'm often doing screen recordings with that. So maybe it's not as good for fitness people, but it can be good for some editing if you need to do a little more editing there. And then my other favorite tool is Agora Pulse. And that tool helps you schedule and manage all your social sites from one place. But what I love about it especially is this inbox that you've got. So you can get all your notifications in one area, so you're not having to go to each platform and see if someone's responded or if someone has asked you a question on, Twitter or on LinkedIn or on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. So it brings it all into one place, and you can just check off your notifications really easily and know that you're not missing anything.
That is super handy, and I love all three of those. And I've got to tell everyone, I haven't heard of the second two that you just went with. But Animoto has been one of my favorite tools for a long time. And if anyone missed it, we were lucky enough to actually have one of the co-founders of Animoto, Jason Shao. He joined us on the show, and he actually talked us through video marketing essentials for fitness professionals. And it was an intensive show, and he goes through a heap of details, and it was a really, really great one. So I'm going to put the link to that in today's show notes as well. Andrea, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
A quick reminder that you can check out Andrea's courses and services at andreavahl.com. And also at andreavahl.com, you can get your hands on a copy of Andrea's latest book, Facebook Ads Made Simple, which was just released in December 2018. Jump on over and check it out. We'd like to thank our sponsor, One Fit Stop, for their support, and we highly recommend all fitness professionals go to onefitstop.com to find out how their software will enable you to take control of day-to-day management in your fitness business. One Fit Stop's scheduling, client management, programming, and payment collection tools will set your business up for success.
PreCall Quickfire 5.
This week's PreCall Quickfire 5 guest is the founder of The Fitting Room, Carrie Satowitz. Carrie, welcome along. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
We start off each of our interviews with the PreCall Quickfire 5. So can you tell everyone, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because it is the ultimate virtuous cycle for me. So I get to do what I love professionally with a team of people who I have endless respect for and who I truly admire and love. And together, we all put good into the world, doing what we really enjoy doing. So our clients are healthier, they are happier, they are more confident, and we are all doing things that we love to do.
Great answer. And what's one ritual that helps you become better at what you do?
Taking classes at Fitting Room, actually. So classes keep me healthy. They keep me healthy mentally, physically. It's literally the only time of the day when I am truly unplugged. I don't bring a phone into the studio with me, but at the same time, I'm living in the consumer's shoes. So I'm walking the consumer experience, I'm clearing my head, and at the same time, I'm doing consumer research.
Oh, that's a great one. And what app or system do you use to stay in control of your workload?
So I am a little bit old school. So I live and die by my calendar and to-do list. So I have an ongoing one that lives in an Excel document on my desktop. And then when things are really pressing, I have Post-it notes that I stick to my actual laptop so they cannot be ignored. And then my email filing system. So I have my emails color-coded, tons of folders, really well labeled, dated, named, and only things in my inbox that are marked as unread still need my attention, and everything else is either marked as a follow-up or filed away.
That is super impressive. And I love that you use Post-it notes. I'm a little bit old school myself, and I think they're the best because there's so much satisfaction in being able to then screw it up and throw it in the bin once you've completed it.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just need to cross something off.
That's right. That's right. And what's one book, podcast, or blog that you would recommend and why?
So anybody who's building a brand or delivering a consumer experience, I say the Steve Jobs. Amazing book. I have many people on my team read it. As far as podcasts go, I really enjoy listening to How I Built This. It's just a great way to hear trials and tribulations of other entrepreneurs.
That is a super popular answer. I've got to tell you, there are a lot of people out there who are listening to How I Built This. And just in case anyone out there hasn't heard it yet, I'm going to put a link in today's show notes, and just give us a brief overview about the topic that you're going to be focusing on during our main interview.
So we are going to be talking about building a brand and brand equity.
We certainly are. Well, I'm really excited to have you on the show, Carrie. So thank you for joining us today for the PreCall Quickfire 5.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for this week's show, and a reminder that all the resources and links for today's episode can all be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com. I'd like to thank our founding partner, Active Management. As a listener to the show, you have a special opportunity to work with JT from Active Management. In fact, you can get one free session when you buy one coaching session. No matter where in the world you are, technology allows him to work with you. All you need to do is go to activemgmt.com.au/FBP family and work with JT to get more people moving and moving more often. Once again, that is one free session when you buy one coaching session, and it is exclusive to you. Go to activemgmt.com.au/FBP family. As we finish off today's show, I always ask you to remember that what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others.